Welcome back, everybody, to episode 2 of the Juicebox official podcast, aka Mark Zuckerberg's Backyard Barbecue. I'm your host, Juicy Jace, joined always and forevermore, as far as we can see, by co-host and producer Danny, aka Nthnbttr. Danny, give us a little howdy.
Howdy.
Howdy. And today we are joined by a special guest, a good friend of mine. We've been working together for a lot of years, a lot of projects. Actor, director, also produces his own stuff, playwright, poet, man of many talents, Matthew Balam.
Hi, I'm very excited to be here.
So, Matthew, let's just jump right into it. What do you think about abortion?
Okay. We're not. So, next question.
Okay, next question. All right. So, I'm glad we have you on the show, Matthew, because like last episode, we had a musical guy. We had Danny, who's music.
Yeah, and I'm shit at music, so.
Yeah, so it's perfect. We have a guy who's shit at music, but a visionary in his craft of writing.
Stop, I'm going to kiss you.
And poetry. Do you have any poems you want to read off the top
Not
of your head?
at all. But if you want to follow my Instagram for my poetry, it's shit, so don't.
Maddie Poetry, right?
Maddie Boems.
We'll link that in the description below.
Okay.
So today,
jumping right into my word.
Yeah, exactly. So today is Tuesday, January 8th. We're recording about a week early before this show should come out. So I kind of want to read some headlines that I found in the news this past week. I want to talk about a little bit. So Soulja Boy, as of this last Friday, almost died. And no one's talking about it.
How?
Have you guys heard about that?
How?
Did China come after him for
No,
stealing his
no.
stealing their
Nintendo, huh?
games?
So
Nintendo's
right
like
after-
mercenaries.
Ooh.
Yeah. So right after this whole
Shigeru Miyamoto came.
he came right for him for this Solid Snake. So right after this whole Soulja Boy console thing kind of died out, because it's off his website now. You can't buy it. You can't buy the Soulja console anymore. He got caught in a mudslide, and his car was stuck, and he said he almost died, and no
Was
one's
his
talking
car
about it.
like engorged and captured in the mud, or?
Well, this is what the headline says. So it says, the rapper explained on Twitter that he was involved in a very bad car accident on Friday night that stemmed from a flash flood and resulting mudslide. My car got stuck, almost went into the ocean, he wrote on social media. And this is in California. And no one's talking about it. I'm praying for Soulja Boy. Hashtag pray for Soulja Boy.
If Soulja Boy, if anything were to happen to him, given that I assumed he was dead like 5 years ago because I hadn't heard anything about him since like a couple months ago, I don't think I could make it.
I don't think I could either. And I'm livid, dude. Like, Soulja Boy is an icon.
I
Truly.
remember cranking that Soulja Boy.
Yeah, I mean...
That was the hip happening when I was a kid.
That
you know,
is,
back in my day.
That's a staple of our childhoods, I think. Truly,
That was like the first like dance craze move, whatever you call it, that I like remember.
Yeah.
I remember doing that shit at the like Washington State Fair. I have that vivid memory of that. Just, watching the people around me like out on the grass, just cranking that. I think Soulja Boy
so
might have
beautiful.
been there,
So-
or maybe they were just playing his
in
music.
spirit.
Soulja
Soulja
Boy.
Boy's everywhere. In
He
spirit.
brought
He's
world
always with
peace.
me.
He brought world peace.
Yeah.
I think with Crank That, because there's never been. I think that was like one of the our generation, like the 21st century's greatest
Jesus. He was
accomplishment.
actually Jesus.
It went Soulja Boy, Alexander the Great, Jesus again, and then Soulja Boy, I think, as far as influencers in our lives. Because Obama was in office by the time Crank That came out, right?
It was because of him.
Yeah, there's no coincidence. Exactly, dude. Obama created Soulja Boy in a lab, and then now we have Crank That. But we're praying for Soulja Boy over here, I think, anyway. Matthew, what do you think?
Well, I mean, I would pray. I don't know
that's
how
right.
much mine would do since I'm a
God hates us.
Yeah.
Did
God
you have
hates
glasses?
this podcast.
And God doesn't like
Since-
four
yeah.
eyes.
Well,
God hates
I
the
made a
crippled.
couple deals with
The other
with
guy,
the
the other
devil
team,
to give me more views on my YouTube
get you
channel.
onto
But
this
that
podcast.
Yeah,
was
yeah.
obviously the wrong Satan,
Satan-
but God was still angry. He was like, "What the hell, man?"
Satan came and knocked on the door, and he's like, "You need to get Matthew Balam on here." And I was like, "Why?" And he's like, "Well, let's just say he came over, and we had some wine."
He slipped me a couple bucks.
Yeah, he slipped me a
his
couple
tip
bucks,
money.
and he's like, "This is gonna be life changing." Since I can't take Soulja Boy, this is the second best thing.
That's an honor to be second best behind Soulja Boy.
I think with Soulja Boy, what we got to remember is that he is just such a positive guy. Like, he just does. He's an icon though, because like even through all this stuff of him ripping off technology, he just keeps doing it. And he
He's
just wants to. He believes in it so wholeheartedly. Like he keeps talking about ever since I was a kid, he wanted to have his own game console, and now he has it.
He doesn't care about like copyright stuff. He
No.
wants to share
His
He
vision.
wants it to be open to everyone.
And
He's
I
just
think
like he just wants to give people hugs. Man.
exactly, he just wants to be a positive guy, and I think
He's
we
like,
should
"Wait,
all model Soulja
I'm just
Boy.
trying to sell love in a box to people. You can't put a copyright on love, man.
No, you can't, dude. We're fucking clip that. That's going in the archives. You
Fuck
can't
the
put
man.
a price on
Miyamoto needs
love.
to grow a heart, man.
Yeah, come on,
Mhm.
Miyamoto.
Come on, Miyamoto. Come on, Nintendo. Fuck you, Reggie. You gave us Smash Ultimate, but fuck you.
Reggie, you fucked up.
You fucked up, Reggie. All right, what's next in headlines? What else do I got here for headlines? I saw some other goofy ones. It's not as serious as the Soulja Boy thing.
Oh, thank God.
Okay, here's a good one. I want to know what you guys think about this. Nutella is coming out with a 6.6 pound tub of itself. It's a $22 jar, and it's got 81 servings inside of it. Thoughts?
These are the news stories that I want to be talking about.
I feel like it's a good deal, but like that it would be embarrassing going to the store.
Could you imagine, dude? Like how? Okay.
That's a month's supply, maybe more than a month's supply.
No, that would last you years. I mean, I would get one of those little jars of Nutella, and that would fucking last me about a month.
Yeah, I think I still have like a jar of Nutella from like 2012.
2008.
Just in the back of the cabinet. I pull it out every once in a while.
But could
I'll
you-
try that shit.
That's
down.
like going into a store and like coming out with only chips. Like, you know how sad you look? Like, have you ever walked it? Like, have you ever done that? You
All the
walk in
time.
store? No, yeah, you know, seriously though, I feel so embarrassed. Like, I don't have shame in public normally. Like, I dress how I want. You know what I mean? I walk how I want. But if I
Yeah.
load that cart up with Oreos and Doritos and I'm walking out, I fucking know what I'm
What's
doing.
even worse is when like you're
It's
craving
disgusting.
like one thing. You're craving like fucking a bag of like Reese's like miniatures.
Ooh.
And you only have like money for like that one item, so you just drive to Safeway just to get that one item,
And then
you
you're
take it
that
to
guy.
checkout, and then the girl at checkout is somebody like you knew in high school, and you're like, oh hey there,
Been there.
I'm just living my life, you know.
I'm
Come
just-
on, I'm out here.
I know it's 11:30 at night, and I know I'm in sweatpants and a bathrobe. Please ignore that. I know. I know.
So
I had a
how have
crush
you
on
been?
Yeah, exactly. All right, what's next in headlines? I think I got one more over here. And
Well, my opinion on the Nutella thing, Godspeed. I wish him the best.
and Danny, what do you think?
Well, they're making it, so there must be a market for it.
There's
so fuck
there's
it.
some fat fuck out there. I think this next one will intertwine with Ohio because this comes from Ohio. A very non-suspicious box labeled "Not Dope" was found by Ohio police in a public library. Some think it was a ploy to keep distraction, but the box did in fact contain meth inside of an Ohio public library, and I have a lot of questions.
It's misdirection, man.
It's misdirection. Why a public library? In all my years of hearing stories of drug, like crazy drug telling story, you know, your coworkers and older folks that lived through 70s, 80s, never once did they ever mention they got dope in a public library.
Okay, but it's Ohio. Like, what else do you use libraries for there?
and it's a public library. It's
People
like
go
the
there to
perfect
read.
place to do a dope deal because there's no one there.
That man is a genius.
we
He
should
just-
start doing the podcast inside of the public library, I
Yeah.
think. No one would
Get a
bother
bunch of
us.
shh.
You're
But, like,
right.
then it's like, wait, it's Juicy Jace
Yeah,
here.
hold on a minute. Oh my God, is that Soulja Boy on the show with him today? Holy shit!
Thank you so much, Soldier Boy. You've changed my life. Barack Obama stops him. That was my Barack Obama impersonation. He stops in the
Soldier
yak-
Boy
I
saved
heard
the
you were
queen from
coming
death.
to do the Juicebox podcast, Mr. Soldier Boy. I just
my
want to tell you I'm a really big fan.
Here's my Soulja Boy impression.
Remember when I killed Bin Laden? That was all for you.
Yeah. No, that's like Lil Wayne. Yeah. Thanks, Obama. Yeah, boy. I don't know. That's
Stop impersonating
Danny.
black
Can you
people
do a
now.
Soulja Boy impression? You're the only person of color on this panel today.
You. It's like, I think that was in the Bible. I think.
At first, I thought Soldier Boy turned into the THX startup sound.
Corinthians
I was
16:9.
I was like, he did that too. Wow, he's a real visionary.
Oh
He's
my
had a lot of
God.
hits.
I love you, Soulja Boy. Soulja Boy, if you're listening, please come on my show. I'll buy your Soulja Pods for
You
how
can
much are
invite
they?
me.
$20?
That sound bit inspired
$15
the
million.
Kristen Nolan Batman trilogy.
Yeah, Kristen
The-
Nolan. I like
three
that.
of the greatest films ever created. Oh, speaking of, this leads me to the next topic. We were talking about this before the show. I want to talk about movies with you, Matthew,
Please.
because that's kind of why I brought you here today.
That's the only thing I talk about.
Because
so.
you're the movie guy, and we've done a couple live streams together on Instagram. You can find me on Instagram, JuicyJace_OG.
You can find me on Instagram, Balam.
So we've talked about movies, and speaking of DC, on the Christopher Nolan Batman movies, I saw Aquaman yesterday.
Nice. I have not seen.
It's
Aquaman.
Neither have I.
garbage. Don't waste your time with Aquaman.
I was not planning on seeing it. Although the chick in it, the lady, I want to respect women here.
Right.
The lady in it, Amber Heard, one of
beautiful.
I love her.
Yeah,
The
she's
most respectable woman ever.
See,
I respect her so hard.
The problem with Aquaman is they had all some really veteran actors like Willem Dafoe. They had another lady.
I love Willem Dafoe.
Oh, Nicole
Willem Dafoe's great.
Kidman.
Nicole Kidman. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
You have these just bonkers people, and the script is so bad.
Well, that's
it's so
okay.
two-dimensional.
That's okay. Here we go on my first tangent. That's what it is. That's what all of these studio movies are. Like I see like these big blockbuster movies that come out, like the Marvel movies or the DC movies and all that shit. They're all the same. They're all made by studios, and they're not written by people. They're written by like studios and focus groups. They're
Right.
like, how do we maximize profits out of every minute of this film? And they just we have these many millions of dollars. We're going to find a way. We're going to get freaking people who study like analytics to figure out which actors we buy, which scenes, which set pieces we buy. Everything in the movie, literally everything, is determined by what's going to sell the most. That's why, that's the only way that studios could afford these big budget movies is
Right.
by making sure like
They're
we're
gonna
going to
make
make
their
a
money.
profit out of this, and
Yeah.
we're going to make sure we do everything in our power to make a profit out of this.
But the integrity of it too, though, is like it's just so ballsy, like how they come about it, because that's true. Like they'll spend hundreds of millions of dollars. But I think DC in particular is one of the biggest offenders right now.
It's bad because they try to do what you just said, but they end up just fucking.
Yeah, well, because at least
Yeah.
with
With their head
Marvel,
up their
Marvel makes it look good for one. I think they make it. They put a lot of effort. I think more into knowing that if they make at least something that's passable, it's gonna make their money back. Because that's where my problem with Aquaman comes in, and kind of these other DC movies that we've had. This new generation of DC movies is they have they try to replicate Marvel, but they can't. They cannot afford to do it. You know what I mean? They don't have the people. They don't
Yeah.
have the teams.
Well, I think they literally don't have the money.
Yeah,
I
for
think
one, yeah.
Disney is such a powerhouse, like they can afford to make Infinity
Yeah.
War
And then Warner
and make
Brothers
it somehow
what?
work.
They had fucking Bad
They have
Boys.
like nothing. Yeah, exactly.
Bad
They have,
Boys,
like-
and then they said, oh, yeah, let's make a shitty Batman movie and Justice League.
it's so garbage, dude. And like the CGI isn't good. The acting is so two-dimensional. Because the scripts these actors are given are garbage. You know what I mean? Like you look at like a Marvel movie or even the Star Wars movies. There's substance behind the scripts. They're attempting to tell you a story.
It was an
that
attempt. I'll
there-
agree with that.
There is. I think there's at least a few more people that care on the project than you'd find at DC. I believe. At Marvel Studios, there's somebody there, a few people
yeah,
that
there
care.
are. Yeah, I agree. There are people
But
that
who's
care.
it? The Russo brothers. I think
The Russo brothers.
because they
yeah.
paid really close attention to the to source material. You know what I mean?
And they're really good with working with groups,
Yeah.
like big, community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That show
They
was
they
great.
respect the boundaries of superhero fans. But then you look at something like Aquaman. You look at something like Suicide Squad, where it is like, as you said, just this complete. Okay, we're going to spend X amount of money to make X amount of money times 10, and that's what they do. They get Jason Momoa, who's a hot, long-haired beefcake, and then they make his lines just so bad, and he's not. I don't believe he's that great of an actor. I was watching
okay.
on
Have
screen.
you seen
I don't
Game
know.
of Thrones? I
I
he's
forgot
a
he's
good
in Game of
actor.
Thrones. Okay, well, I shouldn't say he's not a bad. If I was going to say he's a
Yeah,
bad
he's
actor
not-
because of Aquaman, then Willem Dafoe
No,
is also not
no,
a good actor.
it's a bad script. It's a bad director.
Yeah.
He's not a bad
but
actor.
basically,
Who's the
boycott
director?
Aquaman.
Who knows? Who
I don't know.
cares?
I don't give two shits.
Zack
about
Snyder?
this.
Did he do it?
No, God, no. I don't think it's Zack Snyder. I hope not. It's a stinker, dude.
It's not. It's a nobody.
There was so much of that movie that pissed me off, because off the top, it doesn't take itself serious. Like, I mean, there's multiple jokes in the first 30 minutes that kind of throw off the whole seriousness of it, but they still try to reconcile that seriousness. You know what I mean? Like, they try to come back around and say, okay, we're gonna make this serious now. And it's like, how can I take this serious when there was these biker dudes with pink iPhones? And you make a whole joke about it. You make a whole scene.
Yikes.
That's just so unfunny.
So was it campy, or was it just like
What do you mean?
unaware of its?
Well, it sounds like it has like tonal issues. Which
Yeah,
is,
exactly.
That's common.
It was like throughout the movie they kept wanting to do it differently. Like I said, like in the beginning, you got action right off the top. You have this kind of serious, like, okay, his mom disappears. Spoiler alert, by the way. You know, his mom gets taken back to
anybody
Atlantis.
cares.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, no one gives a shit, but, you know, in case there's an Aquaman fan out there who's listening, fucking livid, he's shaking. But I'm seeing a movie and I'm
He talks to
Hey,
fish.
but-
How could you spoil that for me?
Keep in mind, we're gonna release this like in another week.
Okay, yeah.
so-
Well, if you're listening now, the movie's been out since like the 21st already.
Then
So
it's your fault
Yeah,
if it
it's your
gets
fault
spoiled.
for spoilers. But yeah, so in the beginning they show kind of Aquaman's origin stories. His mom washes up. She's the queen of Atlantis. She fucks a land dude who's, I think, was the only good character. His dad is kind of this goofy, like, Jeff. He looked like Jeff Bezos a little bit. He kind of looked like Jeff Bezos.
Filipino Jeff Bezos.
Filipino
or
Jeff Bezos, kind of
Right.
like
The real
Samoan
Jeff
Jeff Bezos. So off the top, it kind of shows this serious tone. Like, okay, his mom gets taken back to Atlantis, and he's clearly going to be a fighter. He's clearly going to be this. And it's like, okay, that sets like a good ground for this movie. Like, all right, cool. And then, like I said, they do this biker scene where it's like he's fighting. Like, these bikers come up to him and they come behind him and they're like, "Oh, are you the fish guy?" And he's like, "Yeah, who's asking?" And he pulls out a pink iPhone and he's like, "Can we get some selfies?" Like, who the fuck says? What grown men are walking around saying, "Can we get some selfies?" That's not fucking happening. And then
I
they
love
get
that
drunk
shit.
and they're taking pictures, and it's like, okay, so they do this stupid bit. Like, that's the worst possible cop out for comedy. Because again, like, you look at these big budget movies and they don't, like, you look at a Marvel movie and they don't make the jokes that obvious. You know what I mean? Like, they're not throwing these whole scenes in your face just for, like, they'll add one-liners that are cheesy. They'll add one-liners that flow in a scene, but they're not necessarily going out of their way to completely throw off
But
the
I
tone of the movie.
I still hate that about. That's my one of
Yeah,
my
it's not
biggest-
an excuse, but I'm just saying, you know what I mean?
That's
where
still
it's
one of my
like-
biggest complaints about the Avengers movie, because I feel like they also have horrible, like they don't keep their tone accurate a lot, especially in like Avengers 2 and like Civil War. It was especially bad because they'll have like a serious like scene and then they'll like throw in comedy,
Yeah.
like really like lazily, like, oh, and then this one says this funny
Something kind
line.
of funny.
This
yeah.
one says this one
Well,
line. and it's like,
I
this
rewatched.
feels so wrong. This feels like this is not like
Well,
it's
and
not how
I-
people interact.
I agree with you on that because I was rewatching the Avengers movies. After watching Aquaman, I had to wash the taste out of my mouth. I was disgusted. So I was like, okay, I'll watch superhero movies that I enjoy. You know what I mean? Because I think that's one thing too with movies is you can take them at surface level. You know what I mean, and just enjoy them. Because that's what I like. I'm not a huge comic book nerd. I'm not like, I enjoy the flicks, I enjoy the movies, but at a surface level, like, they're not my favorite. I'm not gonna, you know, shower them with too much praise, but at a surface level, you know, it's fun, it's eye candy. You know what I mean? If you're into pop culture and,
And I
nerdy,
mean
it's fun.
that's how some people feel about Aquaman. Like it's
Okay,
it's
but
a
they
bad
shouldn't. They shouldn't.
they shouldn't.
But
it's a
'Cause
bad
Aquaman's just
movie,
bad.
but there's a reason why it's making millions of dollars.
Yeah.
And it's exactly what I said. I mean, they're bad at making movies, but they're not because it's still returning a profit.
Yeah.
And there's still an audience
They're doing
for it.
something right.
And there are people who enjoy that. There are people who see the pink iPhone gag, and they're like, that was funny.
Yeah.
There are people like my parents who go to that kind of stuff.
I
and they're
agree
like,
with
I
you,
enjoyed
yeah.
that. I'm like, oh,
I
Mitch
don't know.
Balaam, what?
Mitch Balaam, we're throwing shade at you. I agree though. Like,
First
I
shade
don't
of
know.
the podcast.
Yeah, we're first shade of the
Throw-
podcast. That's
thrown at
kind of
my-
a recurring bit
It's thrown
here.
at Mitch Balaam. That's
That's our tonal shift.
wow.
But yeah, but superhero movies, I think overall, yeah, you can't really take
Yeah, I hate them.
super serious. I mean, yeah, like if you're a film, if you enjoy cinematography and you enjoy film, it would be ludicrous to say I enjoy these movies
Well,
more
okay,
than surface
okay.
level.
I was just thinking about this the other day, and I don't know. I feel like I might be mistaken, but I feel like there was an era of film, like around like the late 70s, early 80s, when like the original Star Wars were coming out, when
Right.
Spielberg was doing his shit, Jaws, and like all that cool stuff. There was for one brief moment, this period where the blockbusters were the good movies.
Yeah.
Like the blockbusters were the ones
It was
who were
before they realized they could
getting
make a bunch of
Oscar
money off
noms.
them.
Yeah, like they were made by visionaries, and they were made by people who wanted to make cool things, but also wanted to make money.
Right.
And so I don't know. I feel like I don't like that the divide is really bad right now. I don't like that there's this idea of like there's these movies you go to enjoy yourself, and those are the blockbusters, and then there's the movies that serious people who like film go
Like
to.
the deep.
And those are like the Oscar bait movies. It's like I wish we had it to where the audiences just tried like all of it. Like I wish
Right.
there wasn't the stigma around like these more serious movies and these more well put together, well thought out movies, and people say, "Oh, I'm not going to go to that because that's boring."
Yeah, there's not like blowing up and blood. And
Yeah, and the only movies that people go to and people think are interesting are the most like the big blockbusters that
Yeah.
are just these mind melting, just eye candy, and it's just like it's so I don't know. I
There's-
just wish that there was more substance somewhere, and I feel like that's a fault on like all parties.
Yeah.
I feel like the audience has to. I feel like people should take more risks when going to the movies. I
Right.
feel like movies shouldn't be so expensive anymore.
Oh well, that's never going to change because it's like going to a restaurant. Like restaurants know people want to go out and enjoy themselves. So
Well,
they're going to price gouge.
But I mean, I hopefully streaming will help that, since streaming is
Yeah.
becoming more popular. I hope that that's the solution, because people really aren't going to theaters anymore. So hopefully, if more streaming services like Netflix and Hulu like adopt
Pick
more
these bigger
of
movies
like
and-
the
or
bigger-
like the
movies like made by people who are actually
Yeah.
trying to make good movies,
Right.
then maybe they'll have like another resurgence and people will start to watch them again.
a big problem I think, like you said, is you got a lot of people that just they don't want to. I almost see it as people, because like I have that too, where somebody's like, I don't want to watch a deep movie. You know what I mean? I don't
Yeah.
want to watch a movie where it's like something where you have to think about it. You have to enjoy the story. You have to, I just want to watch Iron Man kick the shit out of Captain America.
And that's the other thing is people. It's now the idea that you go to the movies to kind of shut off.
Yeah.
Like you go to the movies, just turn your brain
But
off
it's an
and not
art
have to
form.
think.
It's truly
And it's
one of
like-
a pure art form.
Yeah,
that-
and you don't do that with any other art form. You don't
Yeah.
read a book just to like let your mind shut off. Like
Yeah.
you have to put some mental energy into it. But people don't think film is the same way. A lot of people have the opinion
Right.
that film is just supposed to be like
A fun,
you're supposed to just
whimsical-
watch it and you don't have to think. You can just let the visuals just take over
Right.
and just let it, just let yourself enjoy something while just having your brain shut off. But that's, I don't know. I feel like I pity that, because it's like there's so much more that you can get out of movies.
Yeah.
If you just take the time to try and look past the surface level.
Right.
And
I
I'm
agree
not,
with you. Yeah, I definitely agree with you. I'm not trying to defend all superhero movies, by the way. And
No, yeah,
we might
yeah.
sound like purists over here. We might sound like a little bit of goose stepping, but I mean, you have a point though. Like,
I'm trying not to be purist, but I'm just saying like.
broaden your horizons.
Yeah,
people.
because I mean, I'm not saying that to like look down on anybody who watches that
Yeah.
movie, because I get it, I understand, and that has those movies, those blockbuster movies, those superhero movies, they have an appeal to people.
Mhm.
But I'm just saying, like, as a recommendation, you could get a lot of fun out of movies
Yeah.
that you might not consider enjoyable. You might not consider watching.
Like Bird Box. Watch Bird Box.
No,
Don't watch
no,
never watch.
This is the
actually
Bird
watch
Box.
Roma. I watched that last night.
I've
One
been
of the
meaning
most,
to see that.
It's one of the most fantastic films I've seen
What's
in
that
such
about?
a long time. It's made by the director who did Children of Men. It's about like this young lady in Mexico who's like this servant. She's like a housemaid. And it's about her life in like Mexico City.
Oh.
And it's really interesting. I don't want to spoil it too much, but
Sounds like a
it's
novella.
really
Like a
heavy.
novella, that's
It's not.
fire.
it's really beautiful. Like the shots are amazing. The story is incredible. It has a lot of themes about like women like having to be thrust into like important roles, I guess, because it was like it's set in like the 70s in Mexico, and apparently during that time, at least as far as the director and the writer had to say, there was like there was a lot of poverty in Mexico, and a lot of like there were a lot of absent like father figures, and so a lot of the mothers had and so a lot of the mothers had to like take over those roles, and so the movie's basically about that. It's about these strong female characters that are like, oh, I have to be the head of this household now. I have to make all these decisions, and I have to make all these tough life choices, and I have to have all these responsibilities that were before the man's job.
Right. And now they're thrust into these roles.
And it's just, I don't know. I don't want to spoil it. I don't want to, because there was a lot of plot twists that happen along the way where I'm like, oh shit, oh my god. I sobbed so much. There's a scene near the end that I nearly threw up. I was crying so hard. It's a really tough scene to get through.
Right.
But it's beautiful.
You know, you want to talk about a really good movie before we go on break? You want to talk a really good movie?
Bird Box.
Black Mirror Bandersnatch.
Dude, honestly, I saw that movie. It was pretty cool. Like the interactivity.
I thought,
So bad.
I thought it was good. Like the
so
fact that you
bad.
can like click all that shit.
I thought that was
cool
fun.
idea.
It was fun. You
It's
know
a
what
cool
I mean?
idea.
Like,
It was
a good. It was
poorly
a,
written thing.
It was goofy. I thought it was fun.
It was goofy, yeah, but it was cool because it's like it was obviously not something
no one's
that
ever had.
you have to sit
we've
down.
never had
But it's like, I don't
interact.
know.
It keeps your attention enough.
it keeps your attention.
Like it was fun
it's a video
while I
game.
was doing it,
That's
but
another
then at
surface
the
level movie though. That was a whole
yeah,
joke.
but then at the end, I'm like, because my complaint with it is
What
like,
was your ending?
my ending was spoilers. The one
Well, there's
where
multiple endings.
well, spoilers for this ending. He chops up his father, which is the boringest ending. I try to choose all the most interesting choices,
right.
and I got the worst ending. So I don't know. Maybe it's just like I got a bad ending, but I think that's bullshit. They should make all the endings like at least be like, because my complaint was it didn't like it left a lot of like fucking what's it called? It left a lot of things like just left up in the air. It didn't tie up all the loose ends, you know?
Right.
There was still stuff that was just like brought up in the beginning and never got mentioned again. Like I never found out what happened to his mother. And I feel like that was a big part of it. And then I'm just like left with like, oh, I guess I'll never know that.
See,
so I'm not going to play it again.
It's more fun when you get the ending where he gives himself chemical castration.
What the fuck that happens?
No, it doesn't.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'm about to rewatch
I was hoping
when I get
it
home.
would. But that's a good break point. We're going to go on break real quick. We're going to probably show some clips from an upcoming short film we've all been working on. And we're going to talk about that next. We're going to talk about some of the work we've all done here on short films together and stuff. So we're going to roll a clip, hopefully, from the upcoming short film Samsara, which is to drop this month, hopefully. And we will see you guys in a second. And welcome back, everybody. That was a really cool clip.
Wow, wasn't that great, guys?
Wasn't that a cool clip? We don't even have the clip yet. We have no idea what it was.
Then when that guy did the thing.
When there was that person on screen, that was cool. So that's a really good segue, I think, into kind of another reason you're here, Matthew. I want to talk about me. Talk about myself. That's why I have this whole show.
Yeah, no. So Jace.
My ego is pulsing
Let's
right
talk
now.
about Jace.
Right.
Jace is pretty Jace.
Yeah.
Like
I'm hard.
donuts.
You said my name that many times. My dick is rock hard. So let's talk about short films. So the clips we're going to be showing on our breaks is from this new film, Samsara, that you wrote. It's a good short film because I'm the star. I'm one of the stars of it.
Yeah, that's the only reason.
It's really fun. That's the only reason I like it, and we're plugged on the show. But we've been doing these short films forever now. Like it seems we've been doing a lot
Feels
of
like
years.
forever.
It feels like forever.
Started freshman year.
Freshman year, and
I don't think you were a part of.
I was not part of the
I did
freshman year
not
stuff, but I was
even
doing
know
my own
you
projects.
Existed.
I was doing films with kind of the same group, a separate group, but a group that would end up tagging on to the ESOM 108 Balam.
We were all kind of we were our own factions, and we slowly, like I was a part of my
Migrated.
own thing, and then Ethan was part of his own thing. You were part, and then we all kind of just went under Ethan's umbrella.
Yeah, for the short films.
Because he was the only one who was actually
And
Who had cameras?
making stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And the only reason actually I started this show was to spite Ethan. That's a little unknown fact. So for a little history, a little backstory of us. This ties into Danny too, so this is relevant. Ethan, when we were in high school, about sophomore year, started a YouTube channel. No, freshman year, he started his YouTube channel.
You started in middle school.
Middle school. Well, anyway, he started making more videos throughout our high school career, and I discovered his channel, and I decided I wanted to take him down. I was friends with Ethan at this time, though, so it wasn't like, oh, just fuck this dude, this fucking Asian dude over here making movies.
You want to know what?
What?
That's my exact origin story too.
It's like we were founded to destroy Ethan.
Exactly.
But Ethan's done a lot for our careers, I think, and our short films, because he gives us a medium to make these movies.
And he's down with it too. So.
And he's very down with it. And he helps, and he's fucking involved in them. And
I found out about his channel in middle school. He recorded a vlog about our field trip in our Japanese class. We went to like the Japanese garden in Seattle, and he filmed like a vlog about it, and he showed it to the class. And I was just so amazed. I'm like, look at this dude.
This is
just
YouTuber.
Going out here. He's a YouTuber. He's a filmmaker. He's making things. And I'm like, I want to do this. And so I tried my own YouTube channel, and it was garbage. And then I was just like, I try to befriend Ethan more and try to piggyback off his stuff. And I'm like, hey, can I be in your movies? He's like, okay, fine.
I need people. But see, that's the great thing, though, because there's been a very long history. Like, this isn't just, like, a couple videos. I mean, this is, like, maybe 2 projects a year since
it's really, well, I don't know. I feel like it's really picked up, especially in the last year.
Last 2 years.
Last 2 years we've made most of, but especially this year. I mean, we started last January off with Lorraine, which was the first, like our big short film that wasn't like a joke. It was like trying to like actually
like an inside joke or
it wasn't like Spartacus or like Bluefin Defenders, which were these kind of short films that were just off of like just stuff we thought were funny. It was just us goofing around with a camera.
But
basically.
Lorraine was a really good one.
Yeah, that was the first one that had a script, and it was like.
I have a playlist on this channel, on the Juicebox official channel. You can go to the Juice Best of, and there should be Lorraine in that playlist. If you guys haven't watched these. Films yet, there's going to be some links in the description below.
Please support
these short films, because Matthew,
stuff.
you've written a lot of these. Like, you wrote Lorraine, which is a pretty deep, I think, an interesting piece. It's a good story. You wrote Mayflowers, which is a very, very underappreciated one. If you guys, that'll be a link in the description below to that too. We've worked on the Spartacus series, which is probably the greatest series to ever.
My crowning jewel.
That's when I came in. Spartacus
Danny started helping on Spartacus 3, and that's where we kind of got in contact with Danny. And Danny also helped with Samsara, which I think is going to be a good one. I'm really excited because I play an asshole in it, and I'm really good at character acting as an asshole. If you watch any of the short films I'm in Ethan's movies, I play a douchebag. I played a bully. I've played.
Because he does method acting, huh? He keeps the method his whole
I'm
life.
like Seth Rogen.
It's
like
funny.
Seth
I don't
Rogen's
know.
a stoner.
I don't know why.
Asshole.
I don't know why we always write you as that character. Because you're
I
a
can't
sweet
be deep.
guy.
I can't be deep though.
And I like every time we like have you do those shit, you always complain. You're like, I'm not like this. I don't yell at people.
I don't feel comfortable. No, I'm so bad at it, dude. I have no fucking frame of reference on how to be mean.
I love those characters though. Those are my favorite characters to play.
I have fun doing them, but I just don't feel like but I can't be deep either. I can't be all like, I love you. I can't do that shit. You know what I mean?
It's harder. Short film acting is hard. I think it's one of the hardest forms. Film acting in general, I think is the hardest form of acting. Well, no, it's because
or so little time.
Yeah, like you film like 10 seconds to like a minute at a time,
and they're all important.
And so it's like you have to get into character right as the camera turns on, and then you're out of character after a few lines.
And these scenes, though, and the scenes in short films, I think are so important to conveying a message.
Yeah.
Like, you see a lot of short films. If you watch any good short film, every scene, every time there's someone on screen or just about anything, I mean, it's conveying the story.
That's why I love doing short films, because it's one of the hardest methods of storytelling you can have. It's like that's why I like short films and poetry, even though that's kind of just a side thing I do. But it's interesting because it's like it's difficult. It's an exercise in like putting restraints on yourself, because you have to tell a concise story. You have to, have character arcs within like this set boundary. With a short film, it's like 10 minutes. You have like 8 pages to go from point A to point B as interesting as you can.
And it has to be captivating the whole way through. Yeah.
It's tough, but it makes you a better writer, and that's why I like doing them.
No, I want to know.
Good practice.
I want to know kind of where the light bulb turned on. That because if you guys watch anything you do, Matthew, like I mean, it's you can tell there's heart in it. You know what I mean? Like it's not just you're throwing it together. So I kind of want to know where the light bulb turned on for you, where you were like, hey, this is something that I'm good at. Like, because I mean, you don't just wake up one day and you're like good at it. You know what I mean? But like, was there like a turning point for you where you noticed that you kind of had a knack for this and you wanted to do it?
Well,
or were they separate events? Or kind of break that down for me.
Well, first of all, I mean, I still don't feel like I'm a great writer. Like, I enjoy doing it,
right?
And I think I'm good at it just because. If I am good at it, it's just because I have practice, and it's because it's something I enjoy doing. And so whatever you enjoy doing, it's going to have some quality to it. And it's going to have some honesty to it. But no, I think I just always liked to write. I always liked telling stories just because, I don't know, I just liked being creative as a kid.
Right.
I remember in 5th grade, going way back, was probably my first experience of like writing something and have people like it. So we had like this project in class where like all of us wrote like a short story and like illustrated it, and like they would like send it off to like this publishing company, and they would bring us back like hardcover copies of it.
Oh, that's cool.
And which was really cool. I really liked that for a kid, but mine was just a shitty, horrible shitty story about like I go into space, and it's just like it's a lot of like random equals funny shit. Like, there's a giant chihuahua in it.
It's just like the edgy 5th grade thing where
yeah.
it's just like
But no, it got like an award, and I won like $100 for it. And at the time I was like, this is the most money I've ever had in my life. Holy shit.
I'm rich. I can
like
make
this is
money off
insane.
this.
And like everybody in my class was like, whoa, whoa. And like none of them liked me because I didn't have friends.
Yeah.
But this was like the first time they were like, hey Matthew, right? I'm like,
you had
know?
crazy ragers at your mansion.
and I peaked, and I became like, I invited all these people to my mansion. We did hella drugs, 5th grade.
Right. And you turned up on that lean. And
and then I died.
And Benadryl, popping bennies and ass.
And then I died at 12 years old. No, but that was, I guess that, to answer your question, that would be my first experience. But no, I just I've done it for a while, for a long time. I was very, very bad, and nobody liked my writing. I didn't even like my writing. I tried to write a movie the summer before high school.
That was
the
infamous Lost
Nacho Cheese.
Nacho Cheese, which I hope is going to be coming.
I want to,
Realize
if we
it.
want to do a special podcast episode where we just do a live reading of that,
I'd be down.
I would be so down, because it's one of the worst things.
I think if we get enough people,
we don't have the channels for.
We don't have the channels for it yet, but we could maybe do a special video this summer.
We could pass the mic around.
Yeah, we could have a table read maybe.
Have a bunch of like this, just like.
This is a lot of fumbling the mic. So if anyone wants to see the long lost Nacho Cheese table read,
Or listen to,
leave a comment. And
but
maybe
anyway,
subscribe.
I've been writing for a while. I've been trying to make films for a while. I've been trying to explore like different methods of writing.
And then the medium as a whole. And
but I guess the first time that I really felt like, oh hey, I feel like this is something I've written and I'm proud of it, was I wrote a play with my friend Joy, who might be on this podcast soon.
Someday, hopefully at least.
And we wrote a play together, and it took me like almost the entirety of my senior year to get these 40 pages like written and produced.
That was the
it's called Pamela Noonsberry Finds Her Happy Place,
which I am very upset I missed. It was a one-time.
It was a one-night only show.
But it was very well received. Everything I heard was fantastic.
It was a part of like a night of one acts that I directed 2 plays. One of them I didn't write.
Right.
But this one I did write, and it was one night only, just at my school. Just had a bunch of actor friends that I worked alongside in my school drama program in it, and that was the first time I wrote something, and people liked it. People came up. I got like more praise.
Not to toot your own horn.
Not to toot. I'm not trying to, but I'm saying people were very generous. People were really happy about it, and I loved it because I enjoyed myself directing it. I enjoyed myself watching it, and the people involved seemed to genuinely enjoy themselves.
Right.
Like my friends who were acting in it still say like, hey, that was a really fun show. That was one of the better,
it was a highlight
experience. Yeah, that was one of the highlights of being able to act, in high school. And I And I love that, and that I would say
I mean, that's motivation.
is what really gave me the passion to keep doing this, because just that feeling of like I made like all these people's day.
Yeah.
I made something
one night.
that people could do that made their lives a little bit better, and that's all I look for.
There's something about when you create something, no matter what it is, and people like it, that just makes your ego so fucking.
Oh my God.
Oh, dude, you get that
I was the
rush.
king of the world.
That rush. Danny's smiling
Party at
over there
my
like he knows
mansion.
what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Like,
I know what you mean, but every
Just
time
like
I
those
get
parties in 5th grade.
every time I get a little ego boost, I try to tap.
Yeah,
myself
I know.
down.
You gotta like once I do that, like after we dropped the first episode of the podcast and everyone liked it, like after the first couple days kind of wore off, I'd make sure I look in the mirror with my shirt off and be like, "You're a fat, dumb motherfucker, dude. This ain't gonna work out, Chief."
But-
just to kind of bring myself down a notch. You know
But
what I
I'd say
mean?
that's the thing about
Equalize yourself.
exactly. You have to.
that's the thing about that play, because there was a big ego boost. I would say I felt
And that can be
very good about
dangerous. That
myself,
can be
and that would
very
dangerous.
self-destructive.
But more importantly, with that show is like, was the feeling like that I did something that wasn't just for myself. Like
Right.
other people also had that ego boost
Yep.
because of something that I kind of helped facilitate.
You weren't just writing art to.
Yeah, it
to-
wasn't just me who got a benefit out of it.
Yeah.
It was a whole, audience that enjoyed themselves and felt happier at the end. It was, all the people who acted in it, who I got to direct, they had a good time.
Right.
They enjoyed themselves.
got
They had a
praise
show,
for it
memories that they'll be able to keep. And that's, I think, the most important part about this field of like
Yeah.
filmmaking and writing.
Not putting everything on your back and sharing the
Yeah, because
the wealth,
that's basically, I want to get into film, and I want to be able to make a living off of that.
This is going to be a landmark, by the way, real quick. I'm going to archive this show because in 5 years when Matthew's working for
Stop.
Hollywood and he forgets about me, and Danny, he's going to forget about me. Well, Danny's going to be
You're
big
gonna-
by then,
you're
too.
gonna email
No, I'm
me
going to be
this
still in this
episode.
goddamn trailer. You guys are going to be big and be, hey, guys, you want to come on the show? You're going to go, oh, busy. I'm going to be like, you motherfuckers, I made you, damn it. But
You have to talk to my
know.
agent. You might have to just settle for
I'm gonna
Soldier
be
Boy
calling
instead.
some call service in India just to reach you guys, maybe on a Sunday, you rat bastards. You know what I mean? So don't
yeah.
forget about me. But anyway,
Give
no,
us some
but-
synopsis of the play.
Well,
break down the break.
I'll finish my
story.
statement that I was trying
Okay.
to before I forget. I just want to say that the reason why I want to get into filmmaking is because I feel like movies have like a special, and stories just of all kinds have a special energy to them to kind of, change. It sounds corny, but change people's lives. Like I think a lot
brings
of
a tear
like.
to my eye.
No, but like, okay, that does sound corny, but I'm just saying like a lot of our personalities and the way we see the world is shaped by like the stories we possess
consume.
and the stories we consume. Yeah, and I feel like me personally, because I'm just like, a socially awkward guy. I learned a lot in my like early years from film, from movies, and still I watch movies, and they're kind of my biggest outlet for the world, and they
Right.
kind of open my eyes to a lot more things and a lot more ways of thinking than anything else I do. And so that's the biggest reason why I love film so much, and that's what I want to
It's an important
spend my
medium.
life doing, because it is something, and a lot of people don't realize that it is such everybody's lives. It's such a valuable thing. It's such
like it's kind
a
of like
influential thing for everybody.
it's like music in a way. Like if movies aren't your thing, it might be music. It
Yeah.
might be your outlet, or it's the thing that helps shape your personality in a way that.
It's one thing that you consume on a regular basis that, and it really does, like, you might not realize it, but the movies you watch really do
Yeah.
shape how your mind works.
Unless
In
you're
ways that
like
you don't
watching
even see.
like Aquaman or
Yeah,
something.
unless
that
it's
movie's not gonna
Aquaman.
do anything good for you. So yeah,
But anyway,
break down.
yeah, the
break down
synopsis-
the show for us.
Yeah, since it's not something that will be played again in the foreseeable future, and there's
Maybe
not
a
really a
screen
way you can watch
adaptation.
it. Maybe I don't
maybe.
know.
Someday.
Maybe I'll just let it be its one night thing.
But
it was a short one act play about a middle-aged receptionist from Ohio. No, not Ohio. Iowa. Who works for this guy who's the CEO of a pizza table company, which pizza tables are like the little round table you put on a pizza so that the bites, like his character is, he invented that and that was like his one thing, and he's just banking off of that for the rest of his life. And there's some love triangles that happen, but eventually there's a mix-up where she gets kidnapped by Russian spies because they believe she's a part of a Cold War project. There's a little bit of a, thing there, and she has all these men in her life that are just like in love with her because she's just this, I don't know,
Wonderful
something
woman.
about her. She's not. I mean, she's in her 40s. She's kind of an awkward, weird, quirky lady. She just sits at home, watches fucking soap operas, and eats tuna fish. She loves tuna and she loves bowling.
Mood.
Those are her two things in life.
Schmood.
Schmood.
But all these men just adore her and like want to be with her for different reasons. Like,
Because of tuna breath?
yeah,
Oh,
well, they all have their own reasons.
Sexy.
Yeah, the tuna breath is a big part of it. But yeah, and then like her friend's like husband, who's like this famous like Italian painter. His name is Alfredo Spaghetti.
Oui, oui.
Played by my good friend Brendan O'Connor. He did a great job. He's like in love with her, and so she gets kidnapped, and all these men like fumble together to try and find her and try to save her. And then once they do save her, she ends up falling in love with her Russian spy captive, and then they
Oh,
sail.
Stockholm syndrome?
Yeah, a little bit. And then they sail away to Moscow together.
That sounds
Moscow.
wonderful. That sounds like a good little flick or a good little show.
There's a plot twist.
I was proud of it. I liked it. Because it was about I wrote it kind of about my mom. A
Was
little
your
bit.
mom a Cold War captive?
She was not a Cold War captive.
Oh.
She did have some run-ins with Russian spies, though. No, that's a lie.
Oh.
It's very loosely based, but I just wrote it about like the idea that just from the stories that she's told me in like her youth. I don't know.
So do you owe your mom royalties now?
Yeah, I owe her.
Pay
Oh
up,
shit!
Matthew. Pay
Delete
up your
that part.
mom, damn it.
She didn't know about that. I can't have that on record. Now I have to pay her.
All right, delete the
all
show.
the
We're
money.
done. We're done. We're wrapping it up. We're wrapping this up before some money.
No, I
gets
just-
leaked out.
MI6, CIA, FBI, come here.
Oh shit, they're at the door. They ain't gonna get through the snow though, dog. It's fucking bad up
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I'm
almost
fucking
died.
scared shitless now.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Not to
no,
change
yeah,
subject
yeah,
real
yeah. Sorry. No, I wrote it because just the stories that she told me, like, when she was young, she was kind of, I don't know, she like worked, I don't know if she was like a receptionist, but she was something like a bookkeeper,
Mhm.
and she was just very like, she's a nice lady, but she was very just,
Timid, shy.
yeah, shy, and she was like, she didn't know where she was going, where's her
Kinda just a
life, kind of
normal
thing.
person.
Yeah, and so she, I don't know. I don't know how deep I
Extraordinary
want to get
situations.
into like
Your mom's alive.
yeah, my mom's life, but
And breaking
but basically
down a show that we can't watch.
yeah, let's just keep talking about this show that nobody's gonna watch. But to try and finish this thought, no, it was just about like just kind of just this lady who is kind of reached like a midlife point, and she's single, and she doesn't quite know. She's a receptionist at the shitty job. She doesn't quite know where she's going, and she just kind of has this midlife crisis.
Right.
But then at the end, she, as the title says, finds her happy place. She realizes, like, hey, I don't need all this shit in my life. I'm just going to drop all of it, move to Moscow, and I'm just going to be happy.
I think that would be a really good film
Also-
adaptation. It would be
Also,
a fun
Ted
one to see.
Danson is in it.
Not the actual Ted Danson.
Not the
unfortunately.
actual Ted Danson. We got a guy to play Ted Danson, but like Cheers era
Shout
Ted
out-
Danson.
Shout out Ted Danson.
Shout out Thatcher Whedon. He was
No.
a great Ted Danson.
Thatcher, we don't like you. On
No, I love him. I love Thatcher. He's like
Me
her
and
like
Thatcher got beef.
like her imaginary like mentor. Like he appears. He's like her imaginary mentor, and he like appears to like guide her. And like we had like the bar set from Cheers. Thank you, Danny.
I'm a little
You're
bit
welcome.
of trouble here. It's okay. Go on, Matthew.
Continue, my man.
Yeah,
Uh,
sorry.
But no, yeah, no, that was basically I've rambled
Yeah.
on enough.
Well, that's the wonders of the show, and that's why I'm glad I have you on this show. But I think that's a good spot to slip into our last break before we wrap up, guys. If that's okay. So we'll cut into another break. We'll show another clip from Samsara. Hopefully, maybe some other clips from some of our other stuff.
Yeah, if we want to do
Who knows?
another short film.
If we could, I would like to show off the long shot on this one.
The long shot.
Oh,
Yes,
the park scene.
Yeah.
Oh, we can
Fuck
do
it,
the
let's do
donut.
it.
We should do the donuts.
No.
No, that's a cool scene. Okay, so
No.
basically, real quick before we go on this break, we have some shots in this movie because
That were challenging.
They were very challenging because we have no budget and our editing skills aren't on par. And I think it's very impressive the shot we managed to pull off in this scene. You'll see. I think it's cool.
Build it up too much.
I think it's cool.
Maybe it'll be cool.
For our
Hopefully you'll like
fucking-
it.
For our fucking production value. But anyway, yeah, we're going to take a short break. We'll show some more clips from the show, and we will be right back with Matthew. And welcome back to the Tonight Show with Jay Leno.
Let's talk about my cars. I'm Jay Leno. I got really big chin, and let's make talks about current day politics. What about that George H.W.
hate
Bush?
Jay Leno.
He's still alive and the president.
I want to punch you in the face, Matthew, because just every time I hear Jay Leno, my
You
blood
want to
boils.
punch me in the face?
Just because it's Jay Leno.
Oh, well, you were making a Jay Leno impression.
Yeah, but I want
You
to
don't
punch
wanna
myself
it.
in the face. Well, I'm going to beat myself up later.
Okay.
So
keep
that's
it
what I'm
PG,
into.
Jace.
Oh, sorry,
that's
keep
the
it
post-podcast
just so you guys
tradition.
know, I want to give
Oh
some
no, yeah,
advice.
this is like the X-rated
This
portion
is
of
the
the
after night. This is what we do at the end of the show. Where
no.
we kind of get a little dark.
Now let's get back around to the abortion
Yeah.
question.
No. Actually, I want to make a point real quick to all of our viewers out there. Erotic asphyxiation is a fun thing to do when you masturbate. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. And it's more fun if you use a hemp rope, a coarse hemp rope. It digs into your neck a little better. A silk scarf when you first start is okay.
Don't listen to him. It can be fun, but just use your hand. Like, that's all you need, and don't go straight for like
You wanna go on the
front
sides.
of your throat. You want to go to the sides because you're gonna crush your windpipe.
Yeah. And if you start going black, just release the hand. Don't.
It's not worth it.
If you get found with your hand around your neck and your dick in your hand, you're gonna have a lot of problems.
Yeah, just
I mean, you'll be dead for one, but I mean, your family is gonna be in mourning. They'll
so
find
you're
your
not
body.
gonna have the problem. Your family's gonna have the
and
problem.
you don't want to
You're
do that
gonna
to
be
your
dead.
family. You're already a dirty motherfucker.
Yeah.
Choking yourself.
You
while
don't want your
jerk
mom
off.
to find you. Your fucking your underwear around your ankles, your hand on your throat, fucking furry porn on the computer.
Whoa! Furry porn. Whoa! Hentai Haven's down. Matthew.
hentai or go home.
Hentai or go home.
I don't-
Exactly.
I don't
Hashtag bring
I
back
don't like
Hentai
the
Haven.
fact that furry porn has just been stated 3 times in my podcast episode.
Because of you.
We're clipping
Not
it.
because
We're
of
clipping
anybody
that.
else.
Matthew,
No, I'm
tell
not.
you.
I'm not blaming anybody but
Are you
myself.
projecting
In the
Matthew
description, all it's
Balam?
going to say on the bottom when people go, "Oh, what's the show about?" It's going to say Matthew Balam discusses. Furry
No,
porn.
honestly, no. There's so many different like rumors about all these weird fetishes and kinks that I have.
All right,
and I
let's
don't wanna
clear the air
start
right now
anymore.
on the air. Let's clear up. Some. We're gonna do a little segment I'm
Thank
inventing right
God.
now called
Thank
"Clearing
God.
Up the Rumors." Let's start with Danny. Danny,
Okay.
let's clear up a rumor. What's a rumor you've heard about yourself? And let's clear it up.
I have never heard anybody talk about
Here's
me
a rumor.
ever, honestly.
Danny's gay. All right, that's the rumor I heard. Danny's
Whoa.
a homosexual.
Whoa,
All right,
Jace's
Danny. Whoa, who's
neighbor,
saying that? Whoa.
just open
Whoa.
up the trailer window and just
Doug's at the
scream
window,
that it.
guys.
Wow,
Oh,
Doug.
that's Doug.
Doug.
Danny's faggot.
We're
Oh,
not-
whoa,
we're not
Danny,
gonna
is
go
that
10
true?
miles an hour down
the
your
thing about
shitty
that
road.
is, I carry myself in different ways because I'm confident in my sexuality,
Yeah.
which is heterosexual.
It's
Right.
fine. Men can be gay now.
Yeah,
it's
man.
the 21st
You know,
century. Men
Why
can
do
be
we
bi.
care? Why do we
I
care?
give my
if
friends
someone's gay or
smooches.
not?
There are
But,
so
like, I'm
many.
straight,
okay,
you know?
there are so many bisexual women. There are not any bisexual men, but there are. They're just not
Yeah.
saying it.
Yeah.
Like I feel
It's
like
not a
if it
big
was
deal,
cooler
guys.
to be bi, I'd probably be bi. Because there's some dudes that I see and I'd be like, you know what? He's pretty nice.
There's some hot dudes, dude. Like the guy who plays
Jason
Josh
Momoa,
Brolin.
Aquaman.
Josh Brolin, he's a hot guy.
Yeah, you'll Thanos snap
We're
me
not
into
afraid of
another
it.
dimension. Come on.
But I think we all make we're still making a big deal out of people being gay and not gay. It's
Yeah,
like
that's bullshit.
It's whatever, dude. You know what I mean? Like why do we care so much? Like, you're at work and you hear people they're like, "Oh, I don't care, but Is
As
he?
long as
Is she gay?
As
Is
long
she
as it's
lesbian?
not in front of
Is she
me.
gay? Well, as long as you're not trying to kiss me, I'm not too worried. I'm not
Hey,
trying to
don't
make
come
out
over here and
But
kiss me.
if you're gay, that's fine. But if you're trying to hit on me, we're gonna have problems. No one's gonna hit on you.
Are you gonna
You
kiss
are
me right
fucking
now?
ugly. Girls don't even hit on you. You think a gay man's gonna hit on you, dude? Look at you. No, that's not gonna happen. It's not fucking happening.
Jace, you got something you want to say besides
I think he's saying it.
I think I'm saying that
I think
I'm
you're projecting
heterosexual.
something, Jace.
Do
you want to talk about it? How does that make you
Yes,
feel?
I am a raging homophobe.
Yikes.
Just exposing myself.
Welcome
on
to
the podcast.
Yakima.
Welcome to the
This is a
Juicebox
red county,
podcast.
huh? This is a red county.
Oh, this
Oh,
is
dude,
so
this
red.
is we're deep in the red. There's
Yeah.
some fucking.
This
there's
is a blue
some-
state, but a red county.
Yeah,
That's
we're like the,
Central Washington.
We're the
dude.
one, conservative part.
Have you
of
not seen
one
the
of
Have you not
most
seen the truck?
liberal
Okay, so
states.
there's. I want to break down Yakima to people who are not familiar with Yakima. There's a few viewers out there
From Texas.
we have some Texas viewers. Shout out to our
Wow.
Texas viewers.
Shout out
Go
to
Texas.
He's only done weed, speed,
Yeah.
crank, and meth. Never
I-
DMT.
I remember the Alamo.
I remember the Alamo, but no. So to our viewers outside of the 509, there's a truck that rolls around town. I don't know if you guys have seen this. It has a big Hillary for prison like window decal, and it's like covered in numbers and like American flags, and it's like put Hillary in
red?
prison. And no, it's a big black truck.
Yeah.
Because I've seen a red truck with has the NRA stickers and then
Oh.
has like a bunch
Don't
of like
tread on me.
supporting
Don't
supporting
tread
the
on
wall.
me. Don't tread on me.
And it's like it's ridiculous. There's actually like the flag, the other flag. What's it called?
Actually, that's his right to have these Confederate flags.
Yeah,
and
Confederate
American
flag
flags
on it
and,
on the
I
back.
hate those people,
Ugh.
dude. We are, I think, here at the Juicebox, to get political. I want to avoid politics, but we're a little more left over here than right.
I want to
I
avoid
think it's
politics.
just funny though.
Let's just talk about politics, though.
Let's just talk about. Okay,
Let's talk
we're
about
we're at the-
abortion.
after. Let's talk on
Nobody's
the abortion
listening
process.
anymore.
No, after the second. I think after the second half, it's the After Dark version of this podcast. So this
It's the
last
Rated
bit,
X.
We're making it
Unrated,
After Dark.
actually.
To unrated. We're talking about sucking dick and fucking.
The fact that I'm
poppers.
not gay.
And the fact that I am not
But
homosexual.
it's fine. It's fine if we are.
It's absolutely we're not tripping. We're just making jokes about it. We're not making jokes at the gay
Yeah.
community. However, if
My
you are-
ex-girlfriend was not homosexual. She was she may be. She was
Hold on.
bisexual.
does
See,
that work?
I'm
We're-
accepting.
You know, it's just one of those things. Like, in all honesty, like at the end, like no joke, like, all jokes aside, it's like one of those things. Like, why the fuck does it matter?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if you're in a wheelchair,
Amen.
if you're black, you're white, you're gay, you're straight, you have no legs, no arms. Like, why the fuck do I care? I don't give a shit what you are, dude. Just be a good person. You know what I mean? Just be a decent person. Just be. That's what we should worry about. Like, if like I said, I was saying earlier, I was making a joke about people at work. Like, I'll hear them, they'll like whisper, they're like, yo, I heard she's lesbian. Like, why the fuck does it matter? She's a cool girl. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't give a shit what she is. She's cool. And then you have guys where it's like, oh, he must be straight. Like, yeah, he's straight. Look how he acts. You know what I mean? But you know, it doesn't fucking matter, dude. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it doesn't matter what you are. But it does matter. It does matter if you did not vote in any elections. If
I
you don't
voted.
vote- I voted. And I mean voting.
I got all the wrong answers,
voting,
but
voting on.
I got a 60% on the voting
vo-
quiz.
voting-
I definitely got an F.
Voting on
but I'm
both
used to that.
sides I think is important regardless, because you know there's only so much we can do as average citizens. You know what I mean? There's even so much you can do as a politician. But I think if you really care and you want to care, like I don't like when people talk about politics that haven't voted or they don't vote or they don't trust the government enough. It's like, why are you talking then? You know what I mean? Like if it's like if you get someone into office and you're like, I don't like this person. Well, it's like, okay, that's cool. Did you vote?
That's how I feel about a lot of things. That's how I feel, because I feel like I recently deleted my Twitter because I was like, I cannot stand this shit. Because there's a lot of that, especially after like the voting season. There were a lot of people like just
Echo
very
chamber season.
aggressively like talking about like their opinions and very
They're
like it's a lot of it's a lot
You're
of
not
hate.
doing anything. You're
like
not
on
doing
both
anything.
sides.
On both sides, if you are being violent and you're not being constructive in your conversations,
Exactly.
nothing gets done. And
Yeah,
that's
nobody
just facts.
listens
You know
to
what
each
I mean?
other.
I do not like Donald Trump at all. I you know what I mean? It's not a shocker, but I'm not gonna go up to someone who does and be like, oh fuck you, you fucking fascist pig. You know what I mean? Like that's not how you get things done. You need to have constructive talks with people that you disagree with so you can learn too. You can grow. You have to be an adult about adult things. You know what I mean? And voting and politics is, you know, a very adult
and
situations.
delete all your toxic social media. Like if you're just going on social media and you
Echo
notice
chambers.
like
Echo chambers, dude.
Yeah,
Exactly.
a
I've been
lot of
saying
it's
that
just like
forever.
echo chambers. A lot of it's just people screaming their opinions, and
'Cause
it's
you're
not
gonna
like helping you
follow-
any.
Especially on Twitter, I think is the worst because
Twitter's the worst.
Facebook, people can convey messages longer, and you can have more in-depth talks. I think at least on Facebook. With Twitter, you're only following people that are going to have the same voice. You're very rarely going to find people who are following both sides. Like on Twitter, I don't follow both sides. I follow maybe Trump to keep up on his tweets so I can make stupid jokes about him.
Yeah.
Really lowball jokes, and then through that I'll see other things. But it's important when you're on social media to avoid the echo chamber. It's just one of those things that it's so god awful once you get caught in it. You know what I mean? Like, you see a lot of left people. They'll do that. They get up on their high horse. You see a lot of right people that get up on their high horse, and it's like, what the fuck are you accomplishing?
And
up there? You know what I mean? Like, you're not doing anything.
Like
You're not
that
changing
doesn't.
lives.
Yeah, exactly. That doesn't accomplish anything. Like it's a way to like express your anger, sure, but
Yeah.
it's really not bringing anything. Like
But you're
just
adding
channel
more
that
negativity.
into like actually doing shit in real life.
Yeah,
And-
donate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Donate. Be an
Fucking donate. Go out and
be
vote.
an activist.
Be an
Like as
activist.
much
Go
as
to
I
your-
hate pro-lifers, like they're out there with signs. You know what I mean? They're
Yeah.
doing something to try to engage people.
That's the
you know
difference.
what I mean?
Conservatives are the ones that a lot of people on Twitter, or at least my Twitter, were complaining about. But the thing is, most of them are old people who don't use social media.
Yeah.
And their form of like expressing themselves
Is
is to actually
donating.
go outside
and make the changes.
and do things. Like
Yeah.
they do all the old people shit. They like write letters and they fucking vote and
Yeah.
they go outside with signs outside Planned Parenthood.
and they're doing stuff, and that's if you agree or disagree with it, that's how you get change done.
Yeah,
You
and
know what
that's
I mean?
why that we see more change coming from them, and like a lot of people on the other side are like, well, how are they accomplishing all these things? It's like, well, they're doing
because they're
doing it the way that
Even if
is
they're-
making it work for them.
even if you're a even if you're a minority, if you're vocal and you're actively making change, you can make stuff happen.
Why'd you look at me when you said
Oh, because you're
minority?
a
Oh, no, no,
minority,
no.
Danny, by the way.
I wasn't even
Um,
listening to Jace. I just saw you sleeping over there, and I was like,
Danny's like, I don't give two shits about this either.
Just
Whatever you
completely
fucking
checked
white
out.
boys are talking about.
the white boys.
But
Just
yeah, so
scream
long
about
story
politics
short,
and acceptance.
it's fuck Donald Trump, but like, you got to just be out there trying to be constructive about it. You know what I mean? Like if you want to talk, I'm not a very well-educated person on
Yeah.
certain things.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you've heard
Me
how I
neither.
talk. But I try to, when it comes down to it, I try to listen at least. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? If someone
yeah.
says, I enjoy Donald Trump, like, okay, I want to know why. I'm not trying to be, I'm not trying to demean you. I want to know what points he does. And, sometimes there's no facts to back up stuff he does. There's no evidence. It's just clearly biased. And it's like, okay, well, that's
But also,
know-
you have to understand that there's a reason behind all
echo
of it.
chambers. And
But no, I mean like there's a reason why he has supporters. There's a
Yeah.
reason why he's the president. So I think your job is to find that reason, understand it, and
Yeah.
see because there's real people out there who have real reasons to enjoy him. So
Yeah.
instead of
Enjoy
just
his
be like,
presidency.
whoa, what the hell? Why are you? How could that be possible? Be like, well, just find out how.
Yeah.
Because it happened.
Yeah.
So find out how it happened.
and then figure that out, and then figure out, okay, because there is things that presidents do on that level that are going to be bad. Obama did bad things. You know what I mean? Reagan did bad things. Everybody does bad and good things in politics.
Real quick, fuck Ronald Reagan.
Fuck Ronald Reagan. He destroyed the middle class. Anyway,
That's enough politics talk.
yeah, but just be if we can take one thing away from this whole podcast, it's just educate yourself on both sides. Don't just listen to your side. Even if you don't want to read a book, you know what I mean? Fucking read some stuff. Do some activism. You know what I mean? Be out there. Be out there doing things for your cause that are constructive. Don't be fucking burning shit. Don't be doing things that are going to make everyone else even more mad than you are, because change doesn't happen overnight. Change is a very, very slow process, and if you want things to change, you gotta just start doing it constructively. That's my takeaway. But anyway, enough about the politics. This kind of got. Let's talk. Yeah, you know what?
Let's talk about abortion.
Enough about
Let's talk about fetal pain.
Let's talk about fetal pain. Oh
Did
God.
you know that the fetus can feel pain at, what do you say,
Stop.
9 weeks?
Stop. We're not mentioning
We're
this.
not pro life over here. I despise
I've
life.
killed many
I think
fetuses in my
human
day.
beings. I think we're
done
the
talking about
worst
abortions
fucking.
right now.
We're the
We're
worst
done.
fucking thing on this
furry
planet.
porn. Furry porn is fine.
Let's
like,
talk
if you
about
like
let's talk
being
about
gay is
fetishes
fine.
again.
What
Let's
if I'm
let's roll back to the
gay?
Okay,
fetishes.
let's boop. This is the section.
All right,
Let's talk
start
about
with-
that rumor.
let's
It's
start
my
with
turn.
Danny's. Oh yeah, we're back to
Yeah,
rumors.
back to
right.
the rumors,
Right,
yeah.
back to rumors. Matthew, rumors about you. I've heard you're a feet.
I
fetish
have
guy.
a foot fetish. That's the rumor
Well,
about
I'm gonna put
me.
my mic down so I can clap for you.
Thank you. I'm sure everyone is
Hero to the foot fetish
is
community.
applauding at home. Well, okay, that's the thing. It
Feet
was
or
a
fire?
rumor. It was a rumor, right? My friend started this rumor as a joke just because he thought it'd be funny to watch me squirm when people around me are like, "You have a foot fetish?" and I have to be like, "Oh." But then I was like, "Fuck you, Brendan O'Connor."
Yeah, fuck you, Brendan.
I do have a foot fetish. I didn't before, but now I do just to spite you.
And then
But
it turns
after
into a
that,
real thing.
I'm like, fuck. Yeah, actually, though, feet are kind of nice. I don't have like a foot, like specifically
Like, don't give me a
fetish.
foot job.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing I've always said. I appreciate feet as much as I do appreciate all the parts of the female body.
Mhm.
I think,
Nice eyes, nice
Yeah.
smile.
It's a skin thing for me. I love like people
I
with
think
nice skin.
all parts of, a beautiful
That kind of
woman
okay. I'm sorry,
can be
Danny. That kind of
beautiful.
sounded like a serial killer thing.
yeah,
I like
well,
nice skin.
I like to
like
wear
I
the
get what you
skin.
mean. But
I like to
it
make
just sounded
lamps out
so
of it, but-
creepy, like, I like nice skin and I want to wear
puts
it.
the lotion on its skin.
Put the lotion on its skin, or else it gets the hose.
again.
Goodbye, horses.
No, but yeah, you guys like.
Would
I
you
like to
fuck
look.
me?
I like girls
I'd
with
fuck
nice, smooth skin. You know, they put the effort and put
Yeah,
the
no,
masks
that's not
on.
weird.
Yeah, that's not. I feel like
That dates back to Greece. Though. I mean, look at the statues, dude. You fucking
Ooh.
they
Oh, they're silver
worship the
white,
female horn.
Ooh, the marble? Come on now.
I'd fuck a marble statue.
Come on. Oh, Venus de Milo, come over here, you freaking double amputee.
Take
Gotta
those-
give me a smooch.
Dude,
come on.
no, that's where the feet jobs come in. They don't got no hands. A little bit of.
Well, if you ever
They had
if
to.
you ever got a foot job before, this is the X-rated part. It's the most awkward thing ever.
Mom,
It's gotta be weird.
Mom,
I've
tune
actually
out of
had-
Yeah,
this
mom,
part.
turn off the fucking uncles
Yeah,
and
the
aunts.
girl, girls I'm talking to, or just the one, I guess. Close your ears.
The one I talked to that one time.
Listen to the ladies that are listening. I would love a foot job. I'm not.
Jace?
These guys are not. I don't know what Matthew but I would love to have feet.
You do not
my
want
mouth.
a foot job.
Why not?
It's awkward.
Dude, I just want a woman
It's
to
super
touch
weird.
my penis. Like
Oh,
that's
yeah.
all I want. Like I don't care what she's touching it with. Like as
At
long
this
as it's
point, I just want to
consensual.
fucking hold hands. I just want to make eye contact with the fucking girl.
Hold hands.
I'm just gonna hold your hand, baby. Come on, give me that hand.
Let me just kiss you on the cheek, and you tell me about your day.
This
You
is
know what I
very.
mean?
This is a lot of.
I'm
this is a
horny
big
right now.
sausage party
Yeah,
right now.
like this is fucking. There's so much testosterone.
There's
in here,
too
but-
much. Oh, I'm getting hot.
Yeah,
it's
it's a
fucking
little
snowing
warm in here.
outside. I'm getting warm as hell.
It's still snowing.
Today's the day me and Matthew Balam will die.
Yeah, so
Oh,
this
yeah, we're
podcast
gonna-
has been recorded on Tuesday, January 8th.
This is the fucking
And
Dark Knight
the-
podcast.
The
We're
obituary.
the Heath Ledgers, you know.
We're the
We're
Heath
gonna make
Ledgers.
this podcast famous.
Their obituaries
It's
come
gonna
out
be our last
tomorrow
thing.
on the 9th, so you guys can archive. Like when you're watching this show back, go Google Tuesday or Wednesday, January 9th, and you'll find their obits.
Obituary.
But I think that's probably a good stopping point after a little bit of the X-rated guys.
We're
what do you
gonna
think?
stop it on foot fetishes.
We're gonna stop it on foot. I think it's a great stopping point.
No, what? No, Jace. What's your rumor?
My
what's a rumor about
oh,
you?
God, that's a great question. What's a good rumor I've heard about myself?
You're not gonna just put your
Oh, someone
co-host and
said-
guest on the fucking
Someone's-
chopping block.
Someone said that I had chlamydia for a while after another friend of ours had chlamydia.
Oh, I remember
and
that.
I don't know how that started because I for one was a virgin up to that point.
I've got a story after this.
Never have I ever had an STD in my life, and I don't ever want an STD. But I heard that, and I was like, "That's fuck. Have you looked at me? Does it look like I'm out here getting fucking chlamydia? I'm having enough sex to get a fucking STD? No. As much fun it would be. It'd be a good bragging point to have an STD. I'd love to get an STD.
No, you wouldn't.
No, because it'd be cool. It'd be like, because it's like, oh, I got the clap. Like, how'd
Oh,
you
did
get
you
the
hear
clap?
about-
Well, I had sex. Like,
you-
it's fucking. You know what I mean? Like, oh fuck, like there's
shit.
undeniable proof that I'm crushing.
It's like the same as having kids. You have a kid, you have an STD.
But see,
That's
bad,
undeniable
though.
truth
No,
that you got
kids,
laid.
Having kids though is I'd rather have gonorrhea than a kid.
Wow.
Honestly, like
that
'cause
is
you
the
can
statement
cure
of this.
gonorrhea, you can't cure a kid. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, before 9 weeks, it won't feel any pain. So,
and that's the turnaround. That's the circle
it's a
back.
life-changing event having gonorrhea.
No,
with
I
kids.
had a story similar to that. Yeah. A couple years ago, I was very okay. Mom, seriously, turn off at this point. I was a very late bloomer into the experimentation with the devil's lettuce.
Right.
So the first
AKA
time
marijuana.
Yeah. So the first time I tried it, it was an edible, and I tried it with this group of my friends that I was in a band with. And we fucking like split a cookie, and I went to another dimension because I was like, whoa, you know, your first
Sounded
time.
just like that. Ooh.
Yeah, I probably made that noise, and I thought I was, you know, speaking to the
Thought
whales.
you were in the Death Star.
Yeah. but like a week later, like all my friends who like weren't into that stuff, because I was around a lot of very straight-laced students, very
Right.
good boys, very IB students, and they all looked at me like I was this bad boy now, because they were like, holy shit, he's like a junkie now.
He did it.
And they were like a bunch of my friends talked to me, they're like worried about me, like, I don't want you to get addicted. I'm like,
Oh, I'm a full-on marijuana addict.
Brendan
I'm sorry.
O'Connor, that's not how it works. But like a week later, there's somebody I didn't really know. I'm not gonna mention her name, but I
After
knew
the show,
I
you're
knew
gonna have
her.
to tell me
Yeah,
with the names.
I knew her. She was a friend of a friend, basically. And she started the rumor that we ate a marijuana cookie that was laced with cocaine. So then the rumor came out. I found out that there was a rumor out that I was addicted to coke.
That's the dangers of marijuana. All your friends believe you're into cocaine.
And the thing was, I didn't know anything about it, so I believed him. I'm like, holy shit! And I had to like hit up my friend, like, did the pot cookie you gave me have coke in it? And she's like, Matthew, that's not how it works. I'm like, but are you sure? Like, can you Google it?
Can you?
I don't want to be. And I started getting itches. I'm like, fuck, I need to do some coke now.
I'm addicted. I gotta go.
Oh god, does anybody know? I like made a Facebook post like, where do I find some nose clams? I need some
There's
right now.
snow outside, but I need some in my fucking nose. Oh my god.
No, but that's another rumor I'd like to squash. I never ingested cocaine, nor do I have any
That
plans to.
sounds exactly
nor am I
like somebody
addicted.
who's done cocaine. That's exactly like
that
something you would
does.
say.
But
you have
you
no
know,
plans. No plans.
yeah,
Maybe when you're famous.
after I get into Hollywood, after I
Join the 27 Club.
get the fucking Avengers 7 deal, direct that piece of shit Howard Duck's Revenge.
Dude, okay, Howard the Duck.
Then I'll do
I
cocaine.
don't want to get into Howard the Duck. I'm done talking about superhero
No,
movies.
and like people fucking. I've had people talk to me and be like, I feel like out of all the people I know, Matthew Balam's the most likely to do coke in college.
Are you
I'm like, what
serious?
the fuck?
If you've met Matthew for more than 5 minutes, if you've been listening to the show, this is the guy who's never going to do cocaine.
I get contact highs off of people's jewels, and I'm like,
Oh, speaking of, Danny, let's get this man ripped off.
No.
here, man.
No,
You like
no.
mint or creme brulee?
I'm so scared right now. Oh,
All right, gentlemen.
I have to drive
Ladies
home.
and gentlemen, we're going to have the first ever Matthew Balam hitting the jewel on the podcast.
No, I'm not.
This is
I'm
going to be like
actually not.
Elon Musk
we're gonna,
smoking the blunt.
Elon Musk.
Hold on,
There you
Matthew.
go,
I'm
man.
going to record this.
No, I'm not.
You're gonna
Okay,
hit the
actually
jewel on
though,
the podcast.
You're gonna get peer pressure.
Welcome to the show. You don't have to pay if you hit the jewel.
I'm not doing this.
Matthew, you're on the show live. You have
Okay,
to hit the jewel.
I'm live on the show.
Take the show from Danny. Hit the jewel.
Fuck both of you.
This is live.
Don't pay attention to peer pressure.
This is peer pressure. Hit the jewel.
I'm not doing
Hit
it.
the jewel.
Fuck you.
You're on the show. You
He
have
has
to
it on
do
his
it.
head. He has.
The viewers want.
Oh, I touched the
this is
jewel.
You touched the jewel.
ridiculous.
You got a contact high.
All right, that's it. We're deleting this whole episode. Matthew,
Okay.
you're kicked off the show.
The
You're
moral
blacklisted.
of the story is it's braver to deny peer pressure than it is to give in.
That was
Yeah,
the
but
whole
now you're a
skit we
fucking
planned.
loser.
You're a loser,
Some
Matthew.
people call me a loser.
Boo.
Some people call me a visionary.
Someone add a boo soundtrack to boo. Boo.
Ooh.
We should have that as a tradition. Like make
a
our
fucking
guests
loser.
get the fucking jewel.
Make our guests do something they'd never done. So Matthew,
Actually,
now we have a line of cocaine ready for you, Matthew.
Okay,
oh, you gotta do it.
I've done that before. So I mean, no. Okay, but seriously though, I really like nicotine is fucking stupid. I'm not putting that in my body. Everything else is cool. Alcohol, fucking marijuana, even coke. You know, I've done that before. I'm a big
Nicotine
cokehead.
is the greatest thing. I'm a
It's so
nicotine
stupid.
addict.
After a
It's
meal?
so dumb. Don't jewel, kids. Don't fucking jewel.
Yeah,
I'm
smoke
lightheaded
cigarettes. Don't
Dude,
do
I
smoke
miss
smoke
actual
cigarettes.
I gave
Fuck
up
tobacco.
cigarettes a couple
Fuck
weeks ago,
nicotine.
and I miss cigarettes. Like on God, like I'm sitting here sometimes, and I'm like, fuck, I could go for a Marb right now.
I
Dude. Like,
crave ciggies sometimes.
But that's why I got the Juul again, because I was like, I know I'm gonna start smoking again, and it's not gonna be well if
You're
I
a
start
Juuligan
smoking again.
hooligan. Heyo, come on.
I mean, like the Juul keeps me down.
I'll remind
like,
you guys, I'm
sometimes
a
you just
poet.
won't.
Follow my poetry.
When I'm talking a
account.
lot like this, like when I go out and I'm socializing, like that's when I want to smoke. Like I'm cigarette. I smoke like a pack in 2 hours. You know what I mean? Like, oh my
Goddamn.
God. It's just who I am. I don't know. It's just how I am. I get nervous.
After a meal,
I
it's
wiggle.
when it hits me the hardest.
And sometimes, like right before I go to bed, like I want to smoke too. Like I want to go outside real quick and light up a cig.
That's why I take anxiety medication.
You got any more
That's
of that?
my free.
Can we snort some of your anxiety medication
my
right now?
free nicotine.
Your Xanax.
Yeah, my Xanax.
Xanax. What the hell's Xanax?
It's like it's Xanax, but given to you by a gnome.
Yeah.
Oh, you just got gnomed.
Would you like a Xanax?
Wait, this is how we ended last fucking show? Didn't we literally, like, we had this gnome shit going on, dude? What the fuck?
And now everyone on
not
this
scripted.
podcast has also gotten gnomed.
You've all gotten
For
gnomed.
the second time.
Oh,
Fuck you guys.
I think, okay, now
New tradition.
that's the stopping point. I draw the line at gnomes. Thank you all for listening to this episode of the Juicebox.
Thank
This has
you.
been joined by Danny, a.k.a. Nthnbttr, producer and co-host. And thank you, Matthew, for coming on the show. This has been a very interesting show, I think. This has been a
Hopefully
wild
this wasn't
ride.
awful.
You know, this whole show's kind of an awful idea, so it can't.
people listen.
Well, I'm glad to
People
be a
listen,
part of it.
exactly. It's really cool. Welcome. Yeah,
So it's their fault. It's your guys' fault.
but see, this is
Thank you,
kind
though.
of
I
just
love
my
Fuck you.
way of holding
Thank you for
this over
listening.
you guys when you guys are famous and I'm not, because this is you guys are just using me for name clout. I feel. No, but when you guys
Yes,
are famous,
that's true.
I want to have you guys on speed dial and you better answer.
No,
Otherwise, I'm
definitely.
gonna hold this over your head.
I'm not
going
gonna be one of those fucking. Well, he says that now.
I'm gonna sell your cocaine story to the fucking.
It's fine.
Enterprise.
I don't like that many people that I know now, so you'll be on speed dial.
That's shade, you motherfuckers.
Oof,
No,
oof.
Matthew doesn't like any. Matthew
We
dropped
forgot the shade. Where's the shade?
Oh, we dropped some
just
shade.
dropped
Brendan
it.
O'Connor.
Yeah, fuck you,
Oh, yeah,
Brendan.
Brendan.
O'Connor. I love you,
Brendan
Brendan.
O'Connor.
He
we
let me
don't
borrow
like
his
you.
shirt that one time in Spartacus.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's fire.
So that's fine.
So yeah. Anyway, to wrap up, we're gonna have a bunch of links in the description down below.
Who's the
to
next guest?
Short films. The next guest, I have no clue quite yet. I think we're gonna try
It's
to
a
get.
mystery guest.
Might be Joy. Might be
Maybe
Ethan.
Joy. Maybe
I gotta
Ethan.
check the schedule and see who we
Ethan's
got.
dope. You should get Ethan on.
Ethan's
shout out real
good
quick
for-
to Ethan Christensen.
He's
Follow
also
his
linked.
channel.
We linked him last time because he helped upload last show.
YouTube, Isan 108. He's I
Isan
love
has
him.
been plugged twice already. So
Yeah.
Oh, because he's great. He's
He's a
fucking,
good guy.
He's a
He's
good
such
guy.
a
We're
master.
gonna do a new
of-
music
Ethan,
video,
we love
too.
you, and yeah, he's
Of
probably gonna upload
filmmaking.
this one too. Thank you, Ethan.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're
I love
gonna.
you.
But long story short, we're gonna have a bunch of links in the description to short films we worked on. Sam Sarah's coming out soon. As of this recording, it's not out. I don't even know if it's on the editing table yet. I can't promise.
It's on
you,
the
but
editing
coming.
table.
It's on the editing table. It should be
can
coming out
promise
by the
that.
end of January, hopefully, maybe into February. But yeah, so thank you guys so much for listening to the Juicebox Official Podcast. We have all of our links in the description. Please like, comment, subscribe if you haven't. Maybe share it to a friend or two. We don't have a Patreon. We don't have any ways of making money. So if you can just share this around a little bit,
Follow
that
me
would
on
be.
Instagram.
Yeah, follow Matthew on Instagram. Both his accounts will be also linked in the description. Follow Danny on SoundCloud.
Thank you.
Everything, and follow me because I'm hilarious.
for some
obviously.
reason.
Yeah, I don't know. Just follow Danny. He's whatever. You know, he's just a dude. So yeah, thank you all for listening. We'll catch you next time. Have a good one, guys. Bye bye.
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 So how about that abortion, huh?